Okay, so I've got my 3 items drawn. They're not complete, but they're pretty close. You should get them all the way complete if you're able to. Get them all the way complete. Now we want to put them onto layouts. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3 layouts. Right click on your landscape A that you've already brought in. Go to move or copy and click create a copy. And then I can do that again. Copy because I have 3 of them to do. Okay, there we go. And then I can rename them. So this one's going to be my 009. This one is my 777. And this is my install. There we go. So now I'm ready to put these in and then put in at least 1 dimension or my text as needed. So here's my 009. Remember to make a viewport. We always put it on the def points layer. There's my def points layer. Click. And I click the blue tab for layout. Go to rectangular and put my rectangular layout in. Make sure that I've accessed my model space. I'm holding my control wheel down, my mouse wheel down. I'm getting it kind of close to the right size. This looks like it's going to be like a 1 equals 2. I'll lock it. I can go ahead and do the drawing title on this one. I don't need to do these. Let's see if this is how this edits. There we go. So this is my 009. And I want to put in at least 1 dimension to make sure that I've got it right. So I'll put it on my dimension, linear, end to end, and there we go. Okay, and I think that's the right one. That's not a very good dim style. Let me go pick a different dim style. I think the architectural scale factor 1 will be the best. Let's take a look at that. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, so I've got my 009 done now. I don't need to fill out all this. You can if you want. So now I need my 777. Remember, dimension goes to def points layer for my viewport. Go to the layout tab, rectangular. And at this point, we've done this a lot, so I'm hoping that this is becoming normal for you. And again, go to the model, zoom in a bit. This looks like a 1-to-1 might work. That looks pretty good. Lock it. Go back to my paper. So there's all these little things to do that hopefully you're getting pretty good at by this point. Picking the right layers, picking the right styles, putting them in as you like. And I think this one I'll put up above. I want to get at least 1 dimension. And now on this one, of course, I've got to make it show up. Def points, layout, rectangular viewport. Activate. I did that by double clicking. Get this close to the right size. Looks like a 1-to-2 is going to be a good size for that. And I don't know what happened to all my stuff there. That was really interesting. There we go. And I'll lock it, and there we go. I've got it. And now I can put in my, let's go back to my text. So I'll go back to my text, DT. I'll get it to start like right about there. Looks like 0.09 will be a good height. That's 330 seconds, 0.092. Rotation angle 0. And I can start typing. And number 5, I think, was something like grade adjacent to the box. Here's a cool thing. If that's a little bit too long and you need to squeeze it a little bit, I can either make it 2 lines because I've got enough room. Okay. The other thing I can do is click on it and go to my width factor, make that like 0.75, and it squeezes it in. Still got to be legible. Still has to be legible. There we go. And this one was my install. This was my 777. So now I've got this showing on 3 different ones. Remember, you do need to finish these drawings. They need to be complete. This is pretty complete. This is pretty complete, but my install is not very complete. If you get this done, that's a lot of points. But there are some things missing. And you want at least one of those important dimensions that were shown to be on each one. And this one, you want as much of this text as you can get. Once those are done, I'm going to save my file because I just did something good. And now I'll export. Okay, so I'm going to go to my AutoCAD. I think I can either export or publish. There's my export to PDF. And when this comes up, ask me where I want to put it. So I want to go put it in my correct folder. Landscape project. That looks good. Output controls. Export what? Not just my current layout. I want all of my layouts. And then save. And this is good. It tells me there were no errors or warnings. Okay, and so what gets submitted is your file. Not quite yet. There's one more thing to do. Your ACAD file and your PDF. The last thing to show you is how to create blocks. And I'm going to do that right now in this video. So each of these is a kind of like, could be a little drawing of its own. It could be something that's used over and over and over again. So we use something called blocks. Okay, so if I type the word block and enter, and this one is my Watts 009. And there's usually some place that I line up to pick from. And like when I click my mouse, where do I want it to line up? So I'm going to take this midpoint here. Let's get my midpoints showing. Midpoint. Midpoint. So when I click my mouse, it'll go there. And then I select my objects. This is my Watts 009. Enter. And I usually convert this to a block so it's a block all by itself. Click. Now what's cool is if I go DC, right, and I know that I'm going to look at my open drawings and my blocks, that's now in here. And you can access it. And then I can go put another one in wherever I want. Okay, so this now becomes sort of a little resource file for you. You can move them back and forth to different files as you want. So let's do a block with this one, block, B-L-O-C-K. There's another one called WBlock that lets you save it not in your open file, but somewhere in your file management system. But we're going to keep going with this block where it goes into this file. So block, enter. This one is my 777. Pick my point. Usually it's some well-recognized center line or something. Select my objects. Enter. Convert to a block. And now you can see that my 777 is here for me to work with too, if I need to put in more than one or use it later. And now this one is a little bit interesting. Okay, usually this is going to come without its notes, but I can make a block of it. Once all this is here, once all this stuff is here, I can make a block out of it. Okay? And what I'm going to do is something called change space. CH space. And I want to be in my model. CH space. And I'm going to click all this stuff. Enter. And now you're going to see it's no longer in my model. It's all right here. So I can make my block. And this is my install. Usually you'll just pick someplace like a middle center or something. Select all those items. Yours should be completed. Okay. And now if I need to do an install, it's real easy. I can just go put that back in here. Okay. But this now becomes its own little item that you can move into other drawings and do more work with it. Okay. So that's how you do blocks. I'm going to look to see that these blocks are in your drawing. I'm going to see that you have 3 PDFs, and I'm going to look for you to submit both your DWG, your CAD file, with the blocks in it, and your PDF. Okay? Oh, and once you're done here, of course, I'm going to go back and remove that one so that it's not showing up wrong on this one here. There we go. All right, so there's my quick save, and you've got your instructions for the landscape project.